Listen to this. It's not right for 26 men to get together in a club that excludes women and blacks and choose who the next leader of Richmond is going to be. That's what happened. 26 men got in a room in a club that excludes women and blacks and determined who they were going to put their hand on. You know, this is 2008. And I want you to know that we don't need other people to choose our leaders for us. This is 2008, and it's a defining moment in Richmond because we need a police chief, we need a superintendent of schools, we're going to get a new mayor, and what happens this November is going to be affecting us for decades to come. So we got to get out there and do the right thing. Now let me just take a little twist on this. Because I've heard everything that has been said today since I've been here. And separate and apart from the political agenda, I want to say something about a spiritual agenda. Because I believe that an individual that is not spiritually fine-tuned is not going to be capable of success. I believe that success has relationship to our grounding, and our sense of values, and our sense of character. And I want to suggest to you, not trying to get you to go to my church or anybody's church, but I'm suggesting to you that somehow, some way, we have got to get to the point that we recognize that in this life and in this world, there is a power greater than us. And that power and that paradigm is one that guides us in our relationship with our children and with ourselves and even with our community. There's a story that is told in the greatest book of books. It's called the story of the prodigal son. And you remember the story how the boy left and got off with a bad crowd, and then he came back home. Let me just lift one thing out of that, and that is that father failed his son because he failed to teach the difference between entitlement and industry. Let me make that point. If you are industrious, if you are a self-starter, you don't have to depend on a corporation. You don't have to depend on anybody's kindness. You don't have to depend on anybody's largesse. If you are industrious enough to get up in the morning and determine that you are going to make it, I promise you that you will make it. And it all begins with you. It all begins with your desire to make something of your life. I have worked since the time I was 12 years old. And when I was 12 years old, I told my parents, you don't have to buy me anything. I bought my own clothes, my own shoes, and I have been working ever since. The only problem was I was working for somebody else. Now we've got to get to the point where we are working for ourselves. And I want you to know that if you make that decision, nobody can flunk you, nobody can tear you down, nobody can take it away from you, because what God has for you, what God has for you is for you. And can't anybody steal it from you. What's mine is mine.
Your vote is your voice, is your right, is your only power. And I say that to all of the young men and adults. I know you may feel that you have been failed by the justice system, but let me tell you something. The law is the law, and it's going to work every single time. Every single time. And it is what it is. All right? It is what it is. Now, before we go, we're going to wrap up. You know, yesterday was National HIV Testing Day. 25% of folks in the city of Richmond are HIV positive and they don't know it. 50% of African American women are HIV positive. So you know what, she may look fly, but what's going on with that blood? Well, anyway, we have the Richmond City Health District here. Angela's going to speak to you for a second. 2, 3, 4, 5.
And we are having a problem here. Those who have never been tested, please take the time. Buddy up, go get tested. It's not a crime to know, it's a crime of not knowing, because you're putting women, yourself, and other persons, I'll put it that way, at risk. The other part is, we're in a syphilis outbreak, and we need everyone's help to make sure people get tested. Because until you start seeing spots on your hands, rash on your bodies, they have unprotected sex. We need everyone to get tested and find out what's going on. Again, my name is Angela Coleman. I'm one of the health counselors at Richmond City Health District. The number there is 646-0420. I have cards. If someone wants to just talk, please give us a call. Thank you.
All right, give Angela from the Richmond City Health District a round of applause. And you know something? We have Ricky Johnson. Before I close, Ricky Johnson has a very important message for all of us.
All right, we'll be ready with the Rolling for Freedom team, with Clovia and the sister, the mom. We're asking anybody that wants to join us, to want to be a part. And now in this election, or future elections, make sure I get your name, your number, so we can make contact with you. We can tell you what we're doing, where we're going to be at next, because we can only do this if we come together as one. If you're doing your own thing, it's going to be separated. We're trying to get you educated on what you're doing. We want you to know what you're doing and how to do it and do it the right way. So just make sure that if you want to be a part.
Check this out. Don't get that half and stuff. You almost touched my half, shorty. But anyway, what I want you to do, this is a confession, all right? This is a promise that we're going to give to our community. This is a promise that we're going to give to our young kids. And from now on, when we leave here, we're not going to call our kids, you stubborn, you get on my nerves, you're a big head, you act just like your daddy, you act just like your mama. We're not going to say that. We're not going to call our kids a fool. We're not going to call them stupid. Okay? We're going to call our kids, whenever they're acting outside of the box, hey, future business leader of America, get it in line. Y'all with me? All right? Hey, business owner, I need you to get it in line. And when you have little daughters and she acting up, hey, Miss President, I need you to get it in line. Will you promise me you're going to do that? So here we go. I want you to repeat after me. I am a man made in the image and likeness of God. I was made for greatness. I was predestined by God. For leadership. In my home, in my community, in my life, I will press toward the mark for the prize of the higher calling of God. Who's my creator? I will not be hindered. I will not be held back. I will triumph. I will triumph. God bless you. Love you.